A year ago, he sold it to Christina Aguilera. She's in the new TV show, The Voice. This is the second year for that TV show, so she's right here to the right. She's also bought another house, not very far from here, the one from the Ozzy Osbourne TV show. She never lived in that, but she's bought that for investment purposes. Then across the street here, on the left, this is Jamie Foxx. Right there on the left, remember him winning the Oscar for the Ray Charles movie. And also the movie Dreamgirls, and also the movie The Soloist. And of course the TV show that made him famous was In Living Color. That was a TV show where he was discovered, and Jim Carrey and Jennifer Lopez. She was one of the dancers, one of the Fly Girls. So I could be here now, I could be here earlier this morning, middle of the day. This is exactly the way it is all the time. The only thing you see are people working on homes. Once in a great moon you'll see somebody walking, but not a lot. And what happens if you're walking around here, what happens is the police, somebody will call the police. They want to see what's going on, because for whatever reason they think it's kind of strange that you're walking around here. Now this house on the right, she's retired, I want to say early 70s, Tina Turner. Right here on the right. Tina Turner's boyfriend's from Germany, and they have a house in Switzerland. They spend, like 6 months out of the year in that area. So this is a home that she's owned for about 30 years. The house next door, Pat Boone. This is Pat Boone's house right here on the right. He's lived here about 40 years. So he has a Harley. He has this unbelievable Harley. This guy, he looks great. He's got to be close to 80. But this is the property here for Pat Boone. Here's one of the, he's got actually 2 gates. This is one of the gates. You see him on TV now, he does commercials now. A lot of people, when I bring them through here, especially with really young people, they're thinking every home here is somebody famous, and it isn't. Maybe 7% of the people that live here are people that are well known. 30% of the people that you'll meet here are from Iran. LA has the largest Iranian population in the United States. Close to 750,000 Iranians live in LA. So a lot of the Iranians who moved here in the late 70s, early 80s when the Shah left Iran. A lot of them were in the oil business. So they make up 30% of the homes here. And of course I get asked about, the Kardashians, and the real young people. They're always disappointed when I tell them the Kardashians don't live here. They live quite a ways from here in Calabasas, which is north of LA. And that's where they have their shop here called Dash. So if you watch that show, each one of them is making $15,000 an episode for the Kardashians from that TV show. So again, it's Calabasas where they live. Calabasas is you're heading up towards Santa Barbara. Some beautiful homes up there. You can get a lot more property. You have horses. It's a fun place to live there. So again, you get a lot more property there. So I'm going to turn right in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel. This hotel, a lot of history to it. It opened in 1912, and they shut it down during World War II. The owner is the Sultan of Brunei. And there it is, right there. Look at those palm trees. So remember, this is the hotel where the famous bars in here, called the Polo Lounge. And when you go in there and sit down and have a drink, you don't know where to look. There's all these interesting people when you go into the hotel here. This is where Howard Hughes lived in the late 1940s, the early 50s. He lived at the hotel. Elizabeth Taylor would meet up here with Richard Burton when they were filming Cleopatra. They were having the affair. Neil Simon filmed California Suite here. So again, closed down during World War II, originally opened 1912. So what you see here on the left is the original part of the hotel, and then you have private individual Spanish bungalows on the left. So the most expensive bungalow is $9,000 a night to stay here. So you can imagine what this hotel will be like next month for the Oscars. There'll be a lot of people staying here from all around the world who are in the movie business. So they want to stay here because of the location. Close to Hollywood, very close to Rodeo Drive, so they can go shopping. And then this is one of my favorite streets. This is called Crescent Drive. We've just come through the palm trees. Now we're coming in through the pine trees. So the home on the corner with this big hedge is Janet Jackson. So Janet Jackson is back at work. She's back doing her, world tour. And she's got this home on the right. Here's another home that's in Malibu. 2 gates. This is the first gate. And the statue there is Abraham Lincoln. He's sitting right on the bench there, our 16th president. Her mother and father, they're in their 80s now. They live by Universal Studios in a home in a place called Encino. They have custody of Michael Jackson's kids. So if anything happens to the mother and father, Diana Ross gets custody of those kids. That's the way they've set it up in the will. This is the second gate into her home here on the right. And you can see the 2 signs there. Those are private companies that do security. And this is one of my favorite homes next door. This is the Clark Gable house. This is the one he built when he married Carol Lombard, 1940. Notice it has that look of Tara from Gone with the Wind. That was the style she loved. So he built sort of a mini Tara here in Beverly Hills. So he's buried at Forest Lawn Cemetery by Universal Studios. That's where Janet Jackson's buried, and also Michael Jackson, and also, you already killed her, and Elizabeth Taylor. So they're all buried at Forest Lawn. I've been watching them build this home here on the left. It's been 1 year, and they're really, really taking their time. There was a home there, and whoever bought it didn't like it, so they tore it down and rebuilding. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, right here on the right. And the big news with him, he's dropped out of Spider-Man 4. He doesn't want to do them anymore. So they've hired another young actor to take his place. His neighbor is Antonio Banderas and Melody Griffin. He's got the big hit movie on now, Puss in Boots. He's the voice of the cats. They're right here to the right. Across the street, interesting home. Young couple, just had a baby maybe 3 weeks ago. It's Beyonce, Jay-Z, right there to the left. When you see her in person, she's really good looking. She's very, very attractive. As a couple, they made $120 million as a couple last year. They own about 7 homes around the world. Look at the front door. You can see in the part of the house there. I don't know if you see the chandelier. This is the home, by the way, from the movie Get Shorty. This was Danny DeVito's house in the movie. So when they film and they rent homes here, the owner is going to make a pretty good amount of money. They have to take out a special insurance for the house, though. So they use Bermuda grass here and Monterey, which doesn't need a lot of water. Again, last year 20 inches of rain, and this year we're behind the 8 ball. So if we don't get too much more rain, they'll probably put us back on rationing water during the summer. I want you to cut back about 25%. Now Elizabeth Taylor's house has been sold. You'll see it over here on the left. It was sold for $6 million. And whoever's bought it, they're kind of doing some work on it. Right with that lady with the dog stand. She's right in front of the gate. Right. Well, does she look Beverly Hills, or does she look Beverly Hills? Hi, I'm a model. My husband's wealthy. But there's the house there on the left, the Elizabeth Taylor house. So this is Benedict Canyon Drive, the opening of the TV show, Beverly Hillbillies. Going this way, Jethro and the whole family. I'm sure some of you are familiar with Charo, Hoochie Coochie, right in front of us. That's where she lives. That's the home that she got in the divorce with Zegia Kugat, the famous, or as they called him, Kugi, the band leader. But she lives right there, So this is the opening, Beverly Hillbillies. But if you keep going straight ahead, way up in the hills in front of us, that's where Sharon Tate was murdered by Charles Manson, 1969. Boy, what a scary time here when that happened. Remember, she was pregnant. And when I turned left, right on the top of the hills is where she was killed up there. Tori Spelling, Beverly Hills 90210. I hear that right. So her and her husband had a baby, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. So this is where they filmed the TV show Tori and Dean, the reality TV show. Her father, Aaron Spelling, when he died, worth $500 million. She got $800,000 in the will. Yeah. So she used it to finance. The mother got all the money. So I've been hooked on the reality TV show. Candy Spelling Sells the Home.